man. It's really, really good to be in Singapore. It's great to be at Token 2049 and mixing it with such a diverse group of people. And I'm Tristan Dickinson. I'm the CMO of ExSat Network. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk through the network. I'm going to explain how going back to Bitcoin's original ideologies a full circle moment. And I'm going to discuss how the network has the capability and the ability to help unlock and scale the Bitcoin ecosystem. What we're seeing right now in Bitcoin is a paradigm shift. Bitcoin has traditionally been seen for the financial services aspect of it, peer-to-peer financial transactions, and store of value. But what we're starting to see, particularly in the past year or two with the proliferation of L2s, is that value creation is starting to take off as well. People want to leverage the Bitcoin ecosystem to do NFTs, to do DeFi, to open up new use cases, to access Bitcoin users and unlock Bitcoin liquidity. But what we also see is there are a significant amount of challenges that limit the ability of the ecosystem to scale. Ethereum's TVL is 50 billion. Bitcoin's TVL is less than 1 billion. Now, Bitcoin's market share is 4 times that of Ethereum. So these challenges are really limiting the ability of the ecosystem. And one of the challenges that we see happens after every 4 years. We call this the Bitcoin halving. And whilst as a spectator, it's a fun spectator sport, speculating on the price pre, post, does this start the bull run? What really happens is this misses the underlying challenges that this brings to the industry. There's a centralization of mining operations, there's a culling of smaller mining operations. And really what miners are doing is they're looking at ways to save costs. They're looking to change infrastructure providers. They're looking into renewable energy. They're looking to move to pro-crypto-friendly governments. What we've noticed is that to reach the same revenue levels now, Bitcoin needs to be 94K. And whilst we all believe in Bitcoin's ability to far exceed this number, speculating on the market does not solve my revenue pressures today. So miners are also looking for alternate revenue streams. They're looking at investing in AI, HPC. They're looking at buying smaller mining operations. And while all the cost savings and revenue generating activities are worth investing in, they're time, resource, and cost intensive. So there's a real need in market for a solution that makes it simple for miners to earn revenue without a significant amount of cost and resource. What we also see is further challenges in the industry around interoperability, speed, and fragmentation. It's difficult to cross-chain bridge to the Bitcoin ecosystem. Bridges are notorious for hacks and security breaches. Ecosystems act like silos. They're great once you're in them, but they're cumbersome to move your assets around. And what we've noticed is there's over 300 billion in dormant Bitcoin that's sitting there in cold wallets, and a significant amount of Bitcoin is sitting with trusted custodians and exchanges. And there's a reason for that. There's a security and a trust reason for that. If you do get around interoperability, you run into speed issues. The Bitcoin native network, it's notoriously slow. Over 10-minute transaction times and 60 minutes for finality. Now, if you're gaming, if you're DeFi, these kind of speeds make your use case inoperable. We also see challenges of scalability, and the functionality of the network is limited. And it's these challenges that are stopping the real TVL growth. And it's stopping and limiting the ability of the ecosystem to scale. So there's a needed market for a solution that rewards miners and makes it easy. But it's also interoperable and it's really fast. And that's where the ExSat network comes in. The ExSat network actually stands for Extend Satoshi. And the thinking behind the project was, how do we get back to Bitcoin's original ideology, that decentralization, that trust, that transparency, that security? But then how do we solve some of those challenges that have limited the ability of the ecosystem to scale, that interoperability, that speed, that fragmentation? How do we extend Satoshi to build a digital economy on the ExSat network? And we do this via the data consensus extension protocol that leverages a decentralized oracle mechanism, and it both verifies and mirrors Bitcoin's UTXO data The decentralized state data index, it builds a decentralized index of Bitcoin state data, and it really empowers the issuance and trading of a far wider variety of assets, more than just ordinals and rooms. This could really give birth to BTC-Fi and really inhibit and expand RWAs. The decentralized asset custody service that offers you the ability to own yield without compromising security and trust. And it leverages a multi-sig MPC solution with some of the most trusted custodians and exchanges. Think about Copper, Cobalt, Cephu, OKX, and plenty more. They act as signatories, and it ensures that your assets are managed safely and securely, but it also offers you the ability to earn yield, and that's a key unlock for the ecosystem. And it's with these solutions that we're going to help scale and expand the Bitcoin ecosystem. To be able to put Bitcoin's UTXO data in a fully on-chain, decentralized, transparent manner was a significant undertaking by the team. It's 170 million rows of data, it's 96 gigabytes, and we leverage a data availability layer that we call RAM. It's fully decentralized, it's on-chain, but most importantly, it has an economy behind it. The state data index, it utilizes a hybrid consensus mechanism of POW and POS. And from a POW side of things, we work with some of the biggest mining pools in the world with the goal of 51% hash rate. We're confident at mainnet launch we can get closer to 65 to 70% hash rate. And what happens with these miners? They're rewarded for fulfilling their current use case, mining blocks. With a very little amount of effort, they can synchronize their data on the network, and they're rewarded as well. And they're rewarded in the form of ExSat tokens. So thinking back to those miner revenue pressures, this makes it extremely easy for miners to earn additional revenue without a significant amount of uplift. On a POS side of things, we want to ensure the veracity and validity of that data. So we utilize a 2/3 consensus mechanism. And to become a validator on the network, you have to stake 100 BTC. So they have to have skin in the game. In the future, they're going to have to stake ExSat tokens as well. And what this does is it really unlocks the capabilities and ability for these validators to earn additional yield. And what we could envision in the future is further yield opportunities. If you think about a DEX, the lifeblood of a DEX is liquidity. At launch, we could have over 200 million in TVL in liquidity that can be leveraged by a DEX for collateral, for lending, for borrowing, for a number of different use cases. And what this does is it offers these validators, these stakers, the ability to earn additional yield, not just yield from the network in the form of ExSat tokens, additional yield possibilities as well. And this is a significant unlock. The decentralized asset custody service enables you to securely and safely and transparently earn yields. In phase one, we leverage a centralized solution to ensure security. We leverage the biggest custodians and exchanges in the world, the Cobalt, the Copper, the Cephu, the OKX, and plenty more. And what happens is you send your assets to these entities, and there's a very high chance that your Bitcoin is currently sitting with these entities. You're then given a mirrored or wrapped version, we call this XBTC, and that XBTC is put to work. It's bonded or staked to the network. Approximately 6 to 8 months after launch, we'll launch decentralized asset custody, and that leverages a multi-sig, multi-party computation solution that utilizes those same entities, the same trusted, regulated custodians and exchanges as signatories. And that ensures that your assets are managed safely and securely. And it enables you the ability to earn yields and to continue to earn yield in a variety of different ways. At launch, the ExSat network is EVM compatible. So if you're a DeFi DApp, a Solidity dev, if you have an ERC20 token, you're able to leverage the network and get access to the Bitcoin ecosystem. And this is a significant unlock. In time, we'll add ZK support as well. So if you power your smart contracts with ZK, you'll be able to get access to the network. And there are further integrations on the roadmap as well. Thinking back to some of those challenges around speed, with finality times of 60 minutes, On the ExSat network, we have something called instant finality, which just means you get finality in 1 second. So not only is the network opening up the Bitcoin ecosystem to a far broader ecosystem and a large ecosystem, that EVM is the largest ecosystem in the market, it's also lightning fast. And that enables a lot of different use cases and a lot of different potential. The ExSat token is the token that powers the network. It acts as a governance token, it rewards, it's a fee mechanism, and there'll be further utility added to it as well. The tokenomics in ExSat is actually modeled after Bitcoin's, which is 21 million total supply, halving periods, but the most important part is there is no pre-allocation, there is no pre-mining. It's a fair launch model, and that's extremely unique in the industry today. And this really is how we're living and breathing that Bitcoin ideology, and that's how we see this ideology come to life. The ExSat testnet has been live since the 23rd of July. We actually launched it at BTC Nashville. If you go to the testnet, you can see who the synchronizers are, what the hash rate is, with that goal of 51%, but we're confident we can reach 65, 70% of mainnet launch. You can also see the validators, the amount of staked BTC. What you can also see is the ExSat reward mechanism really come to life. You can see rewards distributed for mining blocks, synchronizing data and validating data. And you can also get a sense of the speed and performant nature of the network. You can look into a block explorer and you can see what instant finality looks like and how fast the platform and the network is. Some of the same biggest partners that are powering the Bitcoin ecosystem have partnered with the ExSat network. And what this does is it shows that there's a shared ideological vision with the network and with our partners. But most importantly, what it does is shows that there's a shared opportunity. Bitcoin's market cap is 1.2 trillion. Over 56% of crypto sits in Bitcoin. But the TVL is less than 1 billion. So there is room to grow. And the partners that have partnered with us, they see that opportunity and they'll help share that opportunity. And the solutions that the ExSat network has will help to scale and unlock the Bitcoin ecosystem. Think about BTC-Fi, think about a greater issuance and trading of a far wider variety of assets, more than just ordinals and rumors. This can become a venue for price discovery. And our partners really share that. And we have additional partnerships that are coming up, and it feels like there's a new partnership every week. We have a major announcement that's coming out in the next couple of days. We're extremely excited about this. And we thank all of the partners that have partnered with us. And if you're interested to partner with us, we have a large amount of team members here, and I encourage you to reach out to them because there's a lot of opportunity in this space, and we work collectively with our partners. So what's the roadmap to launch look like? As I mentioned, we launched testnet on the 23rd of July. On the 27th of September, we'll index the UTXO initialization, which is on the road to mainnet launch. At the end of October, we're going to launch mainnet. At the same time, the ExSat TGE will happen, that reward mechanism. And then not long after, we're going to launch ExSat staking. So coming back to those miners, not only do they have to stake 100 Bitcoin to stay in the active set, they'll also need to stake ExSat tokens as well. And this brings added utility to the token. And let's learn a little bit more about the team. There's over 30 team members, and you can see some of them today. But it's a very development-heavy team. There's over 20 developers. Some of these developers have been developing in the Bitcoin ecosystem for many, many years. Some of them are from very prestigious universities. Think about MIT and more. And we have a significant amount of funding, which just gives us the leeway and the roadmap and the runway to be able to really launch and expand the ExSat network and to truly grow and help scale the Bitcoin ecosystem. The mission of the ExSat network is to scale and unlock the Bitcoin ecosystem without sacrificing Bitcoin's ideology. We do this through the data consensus extension protocol, through decentralized asset custody, through that state data index. The ExSat token really lives the ideology of Bitcoin. It's a fair token model, and that's extremely rare these days. We use a hybrid consensus mechanism of POW and POS, so you get the best of both worlds. To earn ExSat rewards, you have to perform on-chain activities. You have to mine blocks, synchronize, and validate data. That's it. And if you're excited about the ExSat network, or as excited as we are, then please reach out to some team members today. If you want to stay up to date with the latest updates and some of these major announcements that are coming up, and they're really big announcements, then follow us on Twitter or Telegram at ExSat Network. But peeking under the hood and have a look at the network yourself. Go to testnet, check it out. Get BTC, convert it to XBTC, stake into a validator, and see for yourself the reward mechanism come to life. Thank you.